Yo, what's up, guys? Dime here, and today I'm going to be talking about part two of the Piers Morgan Ronaldo interview. I have just listened to the interview. First things first, smash the like button, comment, and subscribe. You guys already know the drill. But first things first, honestly, after listening to that whole interview, Ronaldo went in very light, bro. He honestly did not go in as hard as people were claiming. And this is why they should have just dropped the whole interview. But of course, they're not going to do that because they want to pedal out as many clips as they can. They want to get as many views as they can. They could have easily just dropped the whole interview. No, we're going to break it into 4, 5, 6 days. I mean, it's good for me because I've had bare content. I've had so much. I'm gonna have more content because the World Cup is coming. Don't think I'm not gonna make World Cup content because I already know the World Cup is gonna be on that nonsense. I can almost guarantee there is going to be some BS in that World Cup. Stay tuned for that. But I have the bullets point here. I wrote down some points on my sticky notes here. So the first thing I want to talk about: Ronaldo leaves the training ground. Um, remember the preseason game against Real Sociedad, or whoever the Real Velasio, whoever. He left the training. He left the game or the training ground or whatever at halftime or something. But 8 players did the same thing, but they only mentioned Cristiano Ronaldo. Of course they do, because if they mentioned Donny van der Beek, right, or I don't know, one of these other bench players, or somebody else. If they mention another bench player, it's not going to hit the press. Nobody cares. But when it's Ronaldo doing it, when it's Ronaldo leaving, it breaks the internet. Literally. This has been nonstop. This has been number one trending on Twitter for the past like 4 days. This has been nonstop. So I'm not really surprised at that. Ronaldo leaves training ground, but 8 players do the same, and they only mention Cristiano. Of course, he only mentioned Cristiano because Cristiano is the only one that's going to get clicks and newspaper views. So that's not really that shocking for me. It is what it is. Also, he goes into detail talking about how the owners didn't believe his daughter was sick. I think it was during preseason, his daughter, they were at the beach and doing something, and apparently she got sick with bronchitis or whatever, and the owners partially, he said that they didn't partially believe him, or they didn't believe him in a way, and they wanted him to be on that preseason tour to probably get more money and more clicks. So yeah, it is what it is, man. These owners, once again, they don't care about these players. They only care about this money, and this is it. So I'm not really surprised at this either. Um, Ronaldo says he thinks players around the club are forcing him out. He says the reason why he stormed off during that Tottenham game or whatever was because apparently he said no to Ten Hag or whatever for coming on, and then he just left because I think Ten Hag was going to bring him on with like what 5 minutes to go. It's like you don't have enough time with 5 minutes to go to really get going and engage and click into the game. So that wouldn't really make any sense. I mean, I guess you can understand on both points because Ronaldo is a professional, and he said in the interview, he actually admitted and said, I'm a professional. I should have came on, or I should have handled that a little bit better. Which in his respect, he could have handled that a little bit better. But we all make mistakes. It is what it is, man. This is a part of being a human being. I think a lot of people forget that Ronaldo is a human being. He's not a robot. He's not a robot. These people are not robots. These are real people, and after a while, this stuff takes a toll on you. So that really doesn't surprise me, to be honest. Also, he went into detail. He mentioned how people were talking about they don't want Ronaldo, or the Ronaldo's washed up or whatever, and they don't want him. But a lot of teams, apparently there were quite a few teams in for Ronaldo. He had a 350 million Saudi Arabia deal. He had Napoli come in. He had a few teams come in. I think Chelsea were probably in for him as well. There were quite a few teams in for him, and he could have went to Manchester City, before he made his return to Man United. So he had a choice, but he decided to come back to Manchester United, and and then he got back with Ollie, and then in 2 months Ollie gets sacked, and they bring somebody else in. So I mean that literally threw off the whole feng shui of the dressing room. He felt disrespected by Ten Hag, I guess, because, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Once again, people only see what they see on the pitch. There's so much things that goes on behind the scenes of Manchester United. You do not see what goes on behind the scenes. Once they leave that field and go back in that locker room, you don't know what's going on back there. You don't know what they're saying, unless they bring cameras back there, and they're not going to do that. You don't know what they're saying, so anything could be going on in that dressing room, and this is why I say The media will portray anything. You have to stay open-minded, and that's what a lot of people do. They're very closed-minded, and I think that's very dangerous, and I'll keep reiterating that. Let me see. Ronaldo also mentioned, he said, are these players of today, are they going to be at my level, or are they going to get even close to my level when they're 37 years old? Are they still going to be playing for Manchester United? Because I know what he was hinting at. Are they going to be playing for Manchester United when they're 37 years old? Are they going to be getting 350 million pound deals from teams? Are they going to be at the top when they're 37 years old? That's basically what he was hinting at. And to be honest, a lot of these players of today probably not. I think there'll be a few, but I don't think there's going to be that many. Especially if you don't look after your body. I think that age between probably 18 and 25, you definitely want to look after your body. If you don't start early, the earlier the better. If you don't start looking after your body will let you know, and it will crash on you. It's just like anything else. If you don't keep up your car, it'll burn out on you. If you don't keep up, if you don't oil change it, if you don't get it maintenance, if you don't take it into the shop and let them check it, it's gonna burn out. It's just like with your body. If you don't feed your body the right things, if you don't stretch, if you don't do this, if you don't do that, if you don't work out, if you're not, trying to be healthier, your body's gonna tell you, and it's gonna run out on you earlier than it's supposed to. Also, Ronaldo mentioned about his retirement. He said he has about 2 or 3 more years left in him. Which, around 40 years old, so that'll be about 2025. So yeah, that makes sense. He said he's probably got about 2 or 3 more years left in him. He'll probably end up retiring or something, then he'll probably play with his son. I think he'll play with his son in the game or something, because his son will probably be old enough. I think he's, 14, 13? Yeah, he'll be 16. He'll be old enough to play, at a club, and they'll definitely sign him because it's Ronaldo's son, and he's just going to bring the marketing from his father over to him. So it's just going to carry on from generation to generation. He's chilling. Ronaldo is done. He's done what he needed to do. He's built brand Ronaldo, and he's sleeping good at night, and I would be too. He's sleeping good at night. Ronaldo doesn't care what people say about him really on the internet or the press, because at the end of the day, he's already built his brand. He's already done what he's needed to do, and it's just going to be what it is. He's going to end up retiring, but at some point, 2 to 3 years left in him. He said the ideal thing is obviously to get that last hurrah, get that last championship, ideally win the World Cup. If he wins the World Cup, he said, if it's 2-2 or something and Ronaldo scores 2 goals, I think Piers Morgan said if Ronaldo scores 2 goals and Messi scores 2 goals, it's Argentina versus Portugal final, and Portugal score or Ronaldo scores in the 90th minute or to win it, he would retire on that. He would retire that day. If Portugal won the World Cup, I think Ronaldo would retire earlier than 40. I think he would retire. He would. If that scenario happened, or I think if Ronaldo won the World Cup, I think he would be about done. I think he'd be done. And honestly, that'd be a great way to bow out. A World Cup, that would be a great way to bow out on the GOAT status. That would literally be the perfect way to bow out. He's won everything he's needed to win. He's won Champions League. He's won major honors. He's won a bunch of things. Bow out on that. He's good. He's good. So, yeah. It is what it is, man. I think, this interview with Ronaldo was very light. I think, honestly, the way he went in on the Glazers, he even backtracked a little bit and said, it's not just the Glazers, but it's the infrastructure inside of the club, and that it needs to be gutted from top to bottom, which is true. He went in very light. This was very light, honestly, which I expected, but I'm still going to listen to it because I want to hear what he's got to say. But honestly, after listening to that was very, very light. Very light. Very, very light interview. Honestly, he could have went in heavier than that because I'm pretty sure he has more information and more things he could say. But honestly, that was very tame. People are blowing this out of proportion. What? Because he said, that Ten Hag didn't bring him on or something. And, he said that respect goes both ways. I guess Ronaldo's going to know more about Ten Hag than we do. I think a lot of people forget that. We don't know what Ten Hag is like behind the scenes. I don't know what this dude is like. Or Ragnick. I don't know. I don't know what they're like in the locker room. Carrington, he's around these people every day. He's around them every day. We don't know what these guys are like. They could be douchebags. We don't know. Ronaldo could be a douchebag. I don't know. Once again, we're not around these people daily. So, Ronaldo says, if you don't respect me, I don't respect you. I mean, whatever. It's just very light. Very, very light stuff. He could have went in way harder than that. That was very, very light. And I think a lot of people are blowing it out of proportion, which is what a lot of people do anyway. So it is what it is. But honestly, I'm just going to keep this short and sweet. But yeah. Top player Ronaldo feels disrespected by Ten Hag after everything he's done in the game. It's like he's won 5 Champions League. He's done this. He's done that. He's on the GOAT status. And he's sitting on the bench against Manchester City or Tottenham. And he felt disrespected by that, which, if you're, I understand. A lot of people are saying, oh, he's a dickhead. Oh, he's a Portuguese rat. Oh, he should know where he's at. Oh, he's at the end of his career. He's old. He's washed. But, a lot of people aren't asking this. Who's next? Which is true. Who's next? Mbappe and Haaland? Yeah. They're probably going to be up next. But are they going to be longevity? Mbappe's having his little scandals right now. Because there wasn't many scandals on Ronaldo when he was at Real Madrid or in his prime. Mbappe's not even hit his prime yet. This is not prime Mbappe. I hope. Because if this is prime Mbappe, it's only going to go down from here. But, and Haaland's doing his thing right now. Haaland's going to be bumping for a little bit. But, who's going to be behind them? Because there's got to be somebody behind this. So it just is what it is, man. We'll see over the next few years, man. But, yeah, it's going to be real interesting when what am I, 21? I'm going to be 31. It's going to be real interesting to see who's still playing in this Man United team. Probably a lot of these guys, but a lot of these guys are probably going to have nagging injuries. They're going to have a lot of problems because they're playing through, broken foots like Rashford on the wall. Playing through, having a floating bone in his foot. That stuff catches up to you, man. Over time, it will catch up. You can play through the injuries all you want, but over time, it's going to catch up with you. And it'll hit you like a truck, and your body's going to start shutting down. So, yeah. But yeah, Ronaldo with 2 to 3 years left. Messi's going to go probably about the same. So about 2 to 3 more years for both of these guys. And then it's going to be who's next. Who's next up? Who's behind these guys? Are there 20 soccer players in the world, because before, back in the days, it was like Dino's and Zidane's, Pele's. I'm thinking of different eras, Garrinchas and all these guys, Eusebios and Cruyffs and Maradonas and all these guys. There was so many top-class players back in these eras, man. So many top players. There was so much competition. It was so much competition. And now it's just like there's maybe 5 to 10 right now. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of good players. I mean, you got Harry Kane, Son, Mane, Salah, Modric. Yeah, there's quite a few good players, but it goes in roundabouts. It is what it is. So let me know what you think of the Ronaldo Piers Morgan interview part 2. Yeah, it's pretty much all I got to say about it. I mean, it's just what it is. Ronaldo went in very light. Very, very light. He could have went in way heavier than that. So let me know what you think down below, guys. It's been Dangerous, you guys. Hope you guys all have a good day, and I'm out. Peace.